Hey, what's going on, guys? Lex here again. This is me from the future, actually, after I've taken a shower because I got all sweaty changing the oil on my Camaro here. But in this video, I'm going to show you how I changed the oil on a V6 2011 5th gen Camaro, okay? Let's go ahead and get to it. And guys, here are some tools you're going to need. You're going to need a ratchet. This is a 1/2-inch drive ratchet, a 15mm socket to get off the oil drain plug, a 15/16 or 24mm socket to remove the filter housing. You may also use a torque wrench for the torque specs if you would rather use a torque wrench. I'm not actually going to use mine in this video. Some gloves to keep your hands from getting all oily, and a little pick. We use this to get off the gasket from the oil filter housing, okay? That's some of the tools we're gonna need. Any other tools I use, you'll see them throughout the video. Okay guys, so we're at the owner's manual right here. We're at chapter 10, section 11, and this is where it talks about engine oil. Viscosity grade, SAE 5W30 is the best viscosity grade for this vehicle. So when we're looking for oil, we need to first look for that number, 5W30, okay? And we also need to get oil that has the Dexos certification. This is for General Motors vehicles, okay? And when you see me grab the specific oil I'm gonna get, you'll see this Dexos label in the bottom left-hand corner, okay? And also guys, any oil with this Dexos certification, it's almost always gonna be full synthetic, so that's what you wanna use for the V6 Camaro, full synthetic oil with this Dexos certification. I mean, is it entirely necessary that it has that Dexos certification? I've seen some mixed opinions on it, but I just go ahead and get one that has that Dexos certification, okay? All right guys, so since my car needs 5W30, we basically just need to get anything that has 5W30 on it. And I'm gonna get high mileage oil because my car has over 75,000 miles. So I'm gonna get this one right here. Okay guys, so the first thing we're gonna do is come into the car and pull the hood latch right here. And you're gonna come to the front of the car where the hood is, push this forward and then lift up. And as you see guys, in our case, it says right on the oil cap what viscosity oil we need, 5W30, okay? If it doesn't say it on your oil cap, you can check your owner's manual. And guys, before we jack up the car, I'm gonna take my wheel chocks and put them behind the car, behind the rear wheels. You can also use a brick or a 15-pound dumbbell or something like that just to make sure the car does not roll back. And guys, you should also take your parking brake and pull it up to engage it as well. That'll help the car from not rolling back as well. All right guys, so now I've got my 3-ton low profile jack so we can jack up the car. And I've got low profile because my car is lowered to the ground, so I can't fit any other jack under there. So I basically need a low profile one, but let's see where we can jack up the car first. Okay guys, so we're going underneath from the front of the car. I'm gonna show you where I like to jack up the car from. Right there, that big solid piece of steel right here, or a piece of metal, that's where we're gonna jack it up from, okay? There's also another one back here, but that one's a bit weaker and a bit smaller. You wanna jack up the car on a nice solid piece of metal like this that goes all the way from one side of the car to the other. So this is a good spot right here. So we're gonna put the jack up there. Okay guys, so we're gonna take our jack handle and twist it counterclockwise, okay? So that way the jack will not go up when we move the handle. So we can slide it under. And then you wanna get the jack right about where you think it should be, okay? Then we're gonna take the handle and twist it clockwise until we can't go anymore and make sure it's really tight, okay? And go ahead and take your jack and start pumping it until you get it where you want it. So about there. Okay guys, so I've already jacked it up a few pumps and it's in a pretty good spot. So we're just gonna go ahead and keep on jacking it up, okay? All right, just like this, okay? Okay guys, so now we're gonna take our jack stands and we're gonna put them underneath the car. I like to put them right here. And notice I don't have my body underneath the car. I'm using my arm to reach, okay? You never wanna put your body underneath the car when only the jack is holding it, okay? So I like to put it about right here and the car will lower onto here, okay? And we're gonna put one on the other side. Okay guys, again, notice my body is not underneath the car, okay? I'm using my arm to reach and put the jack stand where I want it. So that's pretty good right there. That's where I like to put them, okay? And turn the handle counterclockwise and slowly let the car down. Okay, very slowly. Again, my body is not underneath the car. And the car will rest on the jack stand right there. And then I let the jack come down a little bit, and then I reposition it. Turn the handle clockwise again till it's tight. And then pump the jack until it goes back up into position until it's just barely touched. So it just touched right there. That's where you want it. Just in case the jack's stands break for whatever reason, the jack will catch the car and hold it up, okay? All right, guys, so before we go underneath the car, I'm gonna take the oil cap off first because this will allow air to flow through and the oil will come out faster, okay? And I'm just gonna leave the oil cap right here so that way when the hood closes, in case I forget to put this back on, the hood will hit the cap, okay? And then we're gonna take this cover off, okay? And then this right here, this little cap, that's where the oil filter is gonna be, okay? All right, guys, so if we come back underneath the car, right there is going to be the oil drain plug, okay? And back here, that's the transmission, okay? So you don't want to go back there. It's going to be this drain plug right here, and it's going to be a 15 millimeter, I believe. Okay, guys, and as you see, I've got my oil pan down here to catch the oil. You want to make sure you try to position it so that way when the oil comes spilling out, it lands into the pan, okay? So right here should be about good. We're going to, yep, the 15 millimeter works. We're going to crack it loose. I hope I can get it. There we go, cracked it loose, okay? And we're just gonna turn it some, and it's pretty loose. You can pretty much do it by hand the rest of the way. And also, guys, I've got these little foam mats that I'm laying on as I go underneath the car, okay? These help a lot, so that way you're not laying on the flat concrete, all right? So here's what I do. I'm sitting right here, car's right here. I just go under, and I'm laying on my left side, and I'm just coming under. See, the jack stands are good. Jack is holding up the car, okay? And I'm going to use my gloves just in case the plug is a little bit hot. I'm just going to start loosening it by hand. Okay, it's starting to drip a bit. Okay. And every so often when I loosen it, I'm going to pull on the plug. So that way the oil doesn't spill all over me, because as soon as you take this plug off, the oil is going to come spilling out. So I'm going to loosen it a little bit more, pull on it, okay? I need to loosen it a little bit more, pull on it, still not enough. I'm going to pull on it a little bit more. All right. Almost. And there we go. Okay, so now the oil is coming out, and now we just wait for it all to drain out. Okay, guys, now the oil has slowed to a little drip like this. So we're just gonna wait basically until it stops dripping, and then we'll refill it, okay? Okay, guys, I've got like a little white trash bag over here just to, so that way I could wipe off the drain plug. So as you see, I'm gonna be replacing the gasket. You see it's like a black piece of rubber on the drain plug right there. I'm gonna take my little pick right here and get that little gasket out and then replace it with a new one, okay? I usually like to replace these every time I change the oil. So, and I'll put the part number on the screen for that. And for the oil filter, I'm gonna be using this Wix filter. There's the part number right there, okay? And oil filter, to get the cap off of it, you're gonna need a 15/16, okay? And my ratchet is a 1/2" drive ratchet, okay? But this is the size you're gonna need to twist off the cap that houses the oil filter, okay? Okay, guys, so here I put my little pick underneath the drain plug gasket, and I'm just going to pull it the rest of the way off, and then put the new one on it. Okay, guys, now I'm gonna take my new gasket and put it right on, just like this, okay? And get it all the way down to the bottom. And it should look something like that, okay? Okay, guys, we're back on the driver's side of the car where the oil filter is. I've got my 15/16 on there, and we're just going to twist it off. Not a lot of room here. It'd be nice if I had an extension, but we're just gonna keep twisting this until it comes off, okay? Okay, guys, I took the ratchet off. I'm just gonna use the just the socket itself to twist it off the rest of the way. Okay, I could probably just do it by hand at this point. Yep, and then it should just come right off like this, and I've got a little towel right here that I can set it on, okay, to not make a mess. Okay guys, so here we have the old filter right here. So we're gonna take that out and we're going to throw that away. Now, really important guys, you see that little red rubber on the outside? Let me use my pick right here, okay? This little piece of rubber right there, the red rubber right there, that's a gasket. We want to remove that using our pick tool, and we're going to replace it with the gasket that comes in our oil filter box, okay? Okay guys, so using the pick tool, I took off that piece of rubber right there, the gasket. Now we're gonna put the new one on. Okay guys, so I opened up our oil filter box, and these were the two items that were inside, the oil filter and then the gasket right here, okay? So we're gonna need to take this gasket and put it back on where it was on the oil filter cap right here, okay? And make sure you take your new oil filter and your old oil filter and just line them up, make sure they're the same height, same width, make sure they look similar, okay? And it doesn't matter which way you put this on. You can put it in this way or that way, it doesn't matter, okay? Okay guys, now I've got the gasket back on. You see the black rubber down there, okay? This is the old one right here, but I'll demonstrate. I just took it like this, you know, I just put my fingers in it and then opened it up wide and then just put it around the oil filter cap right here until it sat on right there, okay? So that's where you want to have it. All right guys, so we're back at the engine now. We're going to take our oil filter, and this should just snap in place. So we're going to take it and put a little pressure on it, and boom, it snapped in place. I felt it, you know, go boom, snapped into place, okay? And then we're just going to put it back on. And guys, make sure that this is centered when it goes in. You see that little centerpiece in the middle right there? You want to make sure that goes on it. You know, you shouldn't have to push real hard to get this thing in there. It should feel, it should just slide in there naturally, okay? So you just got to wiggle it around. Okay, there it goes. It slipped into place, and you just start turning it. You shouldn't have to press down real hard. The threads should just catch on their own. See, okay, yep, it's starting to screw in now, okay? And there we go. And we're just gonna grab our, and you might also see the torque right there, 25 Newton meters. That's the torque that needs to be set at. But what you can do is this. So what you can do guys is this. I've got my 15/16 on there and I'm just tightening this, okay? If you don't have a torque wrench, I do have a torque wrench, but I just don't feel like getting it out right now. So I'm just gonna keep tightening this until it gets pretty tight, until I really have to use some force to tighten this. I'm not pulling real hard right now. Okay, now it's getting to the point where it's getting pretty tight, okay? So now I'm just gonna go back one, and I'm just gonna go just a little bit of an extra turn. All right, it's pretty darn tight, right? I can't really tighten it anymore, okay? So that's good enough. Okay guys, so we are back underneath the car again. The oil is at a very slight drip right now. And as you can see, the oil pan is all filled up right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the drain bolt, the drain plug back in. And we're just gonna start tightening it up by hand, just like this. And then I'm gonna go ahead and move the oil pan out of the way, so that way I don't drop my tools into it. And then guys, we're gonna take our 15 millimeter and put it on there and just start tightening it up until, okay, yeah, right about there, it's pretty tight. Like I have to use considerable force to get it to go any further. So I'm gonna go like that. That's basically pretty tight. Now I'm just gonna push it just a teeny bit further, like about like that, okay? That's good enough. You don't want these to be really tight or anything. So I basically went like another 1/8 of a turn, okay? All right guys, so at this point, we have the drain plug back where it's supposed to be. So we basically drained out all the oil, therefore there's really no reason for the car to be jacked up anymore. So I'm gonna go ahead and let the car down, and make sure you put that drain plug back on before you fill the oil, okay? That you definitely wanna make sure you do that, because if you don't put that drain plug back on, when you put your new oil in, it's just gonna spill all over the driveway, okay? So that's a very important thing to do, okay? So to get the car back on the ground, I'm just gonna take my jack, make sure it's turned clockwise, really tight, and we're just gonna jack it up just a little bit to get it off the jack stands. just a couple of inches is all that's necessary. We're gonna go underneath. Again, my body is not underneath the car. I'm reaching in with my hand, and we're gonna move the jack stands out from underneath the car. Again, guys, my body is not underneath the car. I'm reaching and grabbing the jack stand, okay? And setting it to the side. Take the jack and twist it counterclockwise. Okay, guys, so I had to use my 2 hands to twist this counterclockwise, but now I've got it started. Let's make sure that everything is moved out of the way. Let's just go underneath the car, make sure there's nothing in the way, okay? So I don't see anything. So now we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna twist counterclockwise. Oh, another thing, this bumper right here, I'm glad I caught that. I'm gonna I twisted the jack back clockwise again. I'm gonna put this lever all the way down so that way the bumper does not hit this, okay? So it's down as far as it can go. Now let's turn it counterclockwise again. Slowly, very slowly, nothing in the way. And let's go ahead and slowly twist it. And it's coming down, just like that. And you should be able to see it drop down. There it goes. And now we can roll it out. Okay, guys, the car is back on the ground. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this big funnel right here and stick it into where the oil goes, just like that, okay? And we're going to pour some new oil in, all right? So we're gonna go ahead and twist off this cap like that. And of course, there's a seal in it. All right, guys, in the Camaro, this V6 Camaro takes 6 quarts of oil, so we're gonna just pour this in. And I like to pour it sideways like that because it makes it a lot easier. And here we go, guys. We're just pouring in the oil sideways just like this. It makes it pour a lot easier. And this bottle is 5 quarts, so we're gonna pour this whole thing in there, okay? Just like this. If the oil ends up getting too high to where it might spill out of the funnel, just wait for a second and let it drain back down, just like that, and let's just keep going. Almost the whole bottle is gone. All right, so that's 1 5-quart bottle right there. Okay, guys, so we poured 5 quarts in the engine, but now the next thing we need to do before we pour another quart in there, because we don't want to accidentally overfill the engine because there still could have been a little bit of old oil left in there, okay? We want to take the dipstick right here and pull it out and then put it on a paper towel, and I'm going to use the paper towel to clean off the end of the dipstick right there. Okay, guys, so as you see, the end of the dipstick is completely clean right now. There's no oil on it, so what we're going to do now is take it and we're going to put it back into where it belongs and push it all the way in as far as it can go. Wait a couple seconds, and we're going to pull it back out and check where the oil level is. So you see a hatch mark right here at the very end and a hatch mark right here at the very left, okay? The oil level has to be somewhere in between here. As long as it's in between, you're good. So just from looking at it, it looks like the oil level goes up to about here, somewhere toward the right side. So we might have enough in there. All right, guys, so since the oil level wasn't as high as I want it to be, I'm gonna take just a little bit more oil. This is a second 5-quart bottle that I have right here, and I'm just gonna pour a little bit more in, okay? So let's do about, let's do maybe about like that. We'll stop there and we'll check it again. All right, guys, so I waited a minute for the oil to flow back into the engine, and I put the dipstick back in, and then I took the dipstick out, cleaned it off with the towel, inserted it back in like I did before, and pulled it back out. Now let's check it again, okay? So as we see, the oil, it goes up to this hatch mark at the very end right here, just a little bit before the very end. So I would say we got it pretty good, okay? You can see from here all the way up through here, it's covered with oil, except at the very top, that's where the oil ends, okay? So we've got just enough oil in there, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and not pour in any more oil. Hey guys, Lex here. So I've got the empty oil container. I've got another plastic bag on the ground. I'm gonna take the oil pan where we drained out all the oil and empty it back in to this empty container right here. and then you can take it up to an auto parts store, or I take it to Advance Auto, and they have a container in the back where you can empty the oil. All right. All right, guys, and then I went ahead and put the cover back on and then put the oil cap on. Okay, guys, and now we're going to come in and start the car, and keep your hand next to the key just in case when you turn on the car, if you hear some weird noises or something, just in case you did something wrong. That way you have your hand right here so that you can take the key out right away, okay? But otherwise, if we don't hear anything funny, we're gonna go back outside and check underneath the car and just make sure nothing's leaking, okay? So here we go. Okay. We're gonna check over here in this area, make sure there's nothing leaking or anything. I'm not seeing anything. Let's go underneath the car. Not seeing anything leaking, and I'm just gonna let the car run for a few minutes to get the new oil in the engine, okay? All right, guys, so that's pretty much it. Hope this video helps some of you guys, okay? If you need to change your oil on a Camaro or any car in general, if there's anything I did wrong or if anything I missed, feel free to leave a comment down below so that way other people can see it. Any questions, you can also leave a comment down below, but I will see you guys in the next video, all right?